It is mid-April and it's time to start planting peas. Snow peas, snap peas, they're a delicious early spring crop. They are legumes. So legumes are any kind of bean or lentil or pea. So kidney beans, chickpeas, soybeans, navy beans, black-eyed peas, split peas. These are all legumes which are high protein, nutrient-packed foods to incorporate into your diets. So just like spinach, peas are one of those special crops that we can plant about a month before the last frost date. Now, we just had a snowstorm in mid-April, so the temperatures can still be unpredictable. But peas like to germinate in cool soils, and they grow best in the early spring, not so much in the heat of the summer. So April is the time to plant your peas. A lot of varieties of peas can grow 5 feet tall. So we're gonna let this garden fence here act as a trellis, and we're gonna plant our peas all along the fence. Another option might be if you had one big raised bed like this, you might plant a row of peas along the north side of the bed and put a trellis in the back of your bed, and then you have all this planting space in front that you can plant other crops. So using vertical space is really helpful when you're trying to get the most out of your garden space. So the first thing to do when we prepare our bed is to clean out any debris. So I've already raked the top of the soil off and cleaned out some old weeds and things from last year and some old plants. I don't want to walk on this soil and compact it, and then we can minimize the disturbance of the soil. Now, rather than having to come in and chop up this whole soil again and till it, we can just get a garden fork like this and just fork it to just loosen it up. So now I'm going to loosen up the soil just a little bit. So in case it got a little compacted, this will just loosen it up a little bit without disturbing the soil and the worms too much. All right, now that we've forked and loosened up that soil a little bit, the next step is going to be to amend these beds by adding some fresh compost, just a little top layer of compost. So whenever you add anything to your garden beds, whether it's compost or fertilizers, generally the best practice is not to mix it into the soil, but just to spread it out on the top and then let all of that nutrients seep down into the roots. So now we're just going to spread this compost with the garden rake. This is some perennial bee balm that was planted last year, so that's just coming up nicely. So we'll work and plant around that. Now another nice thing about peas or anything in the legume family is that they're nitrogen fixing. Most crops feed on nitrogen from the soil. Peas and other legumes actually fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and bring it down through its root nodules into the soil. So not only are they a delicious snack to grow, but they're really important to have in a crop rotation. We've got 2 varieties of peas we're planting here today. We've got some snow peas and some snap peas. Just like beans, with these big seeds, you want to soak them overnight. So these have been soaking for about 12 hours. And that helps them to hydrate very well so that then they'll germinate. So we'll drain out that water. It's not absolutely necessary, but if you can find some inoculant for peas and beans, this is a beneficial bacteria that will help those nitrogen-fixing nodules to develop on the roots. So it'll benefit your soil, and it also is supposed to increase the yields. So when you plant your peas, you're going to plant them about 1 inch deep and about 1 to 1.5 inches apart. We're just doing one row along this whole fence line so that the peas can climb up this fence. And so we'll do one 3-inch band. And I'll use the hoe to make my furrow. We planted them in a 3-inch band, liberally scattered, as you can see. And now we'll just cover them up. We're going for about 1 inch deep. And as always, the last thing to do is to water them in well and to check on them every day, because you don't want to let them dry out, especially while they're germinating. There you have it. That's how you plant peas. An amazing early spring sweet treat. Make sure you soak them first overnight and then plant them somewhere where they can climb a trellis. So let me know if you guys are growing any peas at home. Let us know if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are growing on. Till next time, peace and plants, everybody.